Hello, everyone. I'm testing a live stream here on YouTube. I always intend to record more videos, create more content, um, but now I'm trying this live format, which might be more suitable to my style of doing stuff, talking, thinking. So 2025 arrived. Um, I contemplated a lot about the last year, about 2024. And I have to say, 2025, I have a lot of stuff, a lot of risks I'm going to take, a lot of stuff I want to accomplish. So it will be an exciting journey, and I want to take everyone to take part in my learnings, my explorations, my curiosity, my questioning of stuff that is happening around the world. And yeah, first thing, we will be moving to a sunny place very soon within the next 2 weeks. We made the decision quite spontaneous out of our gut feeling. It feels right. We came back to Germany from Tenerife 1 year ago at Christmas Eve. I arrived here in Germany, and somehow nothing really worked out as we envisioned, so to say. And it feels like we came back to an environment where we grew up. So it is our home, but it doesn't feel like our home anymore. So I think that we have a lot of baggage from the past. I don't know, not traumas, but old habits, everything that is resurfacing, and we think it is the best way to move forward is to just leave this environment finally behind. And I don't want to say start a new life, because I mean, there is no new life. It is just we're living life in every moment, and it just feels right to do the step and move back to Tenerife, where our heart it feels belong. It is where our son was born. 2 years ago, we lived for nearly 2 years in Tenerife, and we are somehow spiritually connected to the place, and we just feel like this is the right place for us from a health perspective. From We have a lot more sunshine there. We have better food quality, fresh food, fruits and vegetables, salad, and it just feels much more natural. And when we were there, everything fell into place much more um, easily. So we said, okay, it feels right, it is something we should do. It feels more risky because the logic tells us, okay, just, I mean, you have more opportunities whatever in Germany, but I don't think it's true, and we will make the move. So 2025, what else is on our mind? Will be I will be focusing on Umetric, which is human centric, where we are actually right now with my partner, we are inventing and developing a 3D force plate. This will be focused, continued in 2025. But on top of that, the theme around Umetric is human centric. And one part of it will be human centric technology. And the other part of it will be human centric. And I want to human-centric experiences, retreats, where you actually have human touch, so to say. So I contemplated on 2024. I tried ChatGPT o1 Pro in when it came out in December. When was it? I don't know. 15th, 12th. I don't know. They announced o1 Pro. I decided, okay, let's try it. I have to know what's happening in the world. Whether it's actually any good. And I have to say, it is extremely good, surprisingly good. Why? In 2024, I had the idea and I started writing and working on consulting potential and like investors, uh, decision makers on the impact of exponential technologies on the future. So for B2B, for businesses, and also for investors and the stock market, for example, but particularly in private equity, um, private equity related business models, what will be the impact on investments you're doing today. I did a lot of research and analysis manually. I used what was available back then, ChatGPT 4 and then 4.0 for content, for improving my writing style a little bit, but it wasn't really useful for doing real analysis and research, so that you are on a human level that actually provides value. And they announced it. I just had a lot of draft text already done. I had a lot of many, I don't know, 20, 30 sources, which I gathered, which I was working with. And I said, okay, fine. Let's copy all of that. I had basically highlights from 20 documents in Obsidian. And I just copied everything I had in Obsidian. I passed it into ChatGPT o1 Pro. I added my drafts, which I have already written, which I had written at that time, and I just, in the $200 plan, you can put much more text and input into the ChatGPT than you can with the $20. So it was a lot of text. I don't know, many pages of input, and I just told with a not really a very sophisticated, but it was a simple prompt. I told ChatGPT o1 Pro to use all of this information, which was at that time really chaotic. So it would have taken me another couple of days to finalize an analysis, to write it, to edit it. It would have taken me another week. I don't know. And I just copy pasted everything into it with a simple prompt. I told, use all of this information, reason from first principles, look at the perspective of decision makers of the top 0.01% of investors in the world, and write an analysis briefing on, in this case, it was the impact of Trump's re-election on the market, on decisions you can make, and etc., etc. And I have to say, it took a couple of minutes, maybe 3-4 minutes, and it put out the first draft, and it was so good. In this moment, I realized, okay, it's done. I'm finished. I will not pursue this any further. I will not focus on it. At that time, I didn't start the company yet, so the core project was called Skywert, and I said, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm out. I will not continue working and putting effort into this. AI will take over analysis and research, investment analysis. It will take over the entire space within the next couple of years completely. All I can do is put in my intuitive judgment into it, but not in the format of an analysis briefing. So it will be much more human, with a much more human touch, as I'm doing right now, intuitively, live streaming, impromptu. I think this will add value. But what I did at that time and over the past year, I realized I cannot compete. I cannot compete with AI on everything that has to do with knowledge, with analysis, with logic, and it was a complete. It opened my eyes really on really the impact, because I was writing on the impact of AI and exponential technologies, and only at that time I realized, okay, god damn it, it will. I mean, what I'm trying to do here, it has no purpose, because everything I do right now will be overtaken by o1 Pro. And I mean, o1 Pro is not yet at that level where it has access to PDFs, not to websites. It cannot browse. It cannot have access to your Excel or Word or Obsidian, to your Markdown files. But as soon as it gets that, everything I did could have been accomplished in a couple of, I don't know, 30 minutes, 60 minutes of working with o1 Pro. You would have a top-notch investment analysis briefing on whatever topic you want. It was an eye-opener, so to say. So long story short, I decided this is not, I cannot compete. Yeah, I cannot compete with that. And I thought a lot about, this was really, and I was think will lose their jobs. Industries will be disrupted, and I wrote a long article on it, and I will just open it right now and maybe share a few key points of my I call it the first principles of a post AGI business. And I thought a lot about this, right? Because I didn't want to continue with what business model I was envisioning at that time, which is analysis research. But I also think that expertise in a specific industry is being commoditized with AI. And basically what I realized, it's not only in this space where I was in analysis and research, but overall anything that is related to knowledge work, to logic. So if you're working with any kind of database, if you're working with Excel, Word, if you're writing text of any kind professionally, not if it comes from your heart, from your, if you think it's your purpose to write a novel, for example, keep doing it. I think you will have a human touch if you don't use AI tools. If you really write human content out of your intuition, out of your emotions, out of your experiences, just out of your intuition, it will be human, and human will value it. But anything that has to do with writing professionally, if it's copywriting, if it's investment and analysis research, if it's science and research papers, anything that has to do with writing or analyzing any kind of data, working with Excel, it will all be commoditized. It will be overtaken by AI. So I summarized it. What did I write? Anything that involves sitting at a computer, basically, I believe will be commoditized. It will, it will just be completely disrupted. And this is what I realized, right? And so I will just, for example, anything with data entry, I just said data processing. I said should run as fast as you can. Anything that involves writing, so as I said, copywriting, technical writing, editing, proofreading, and also translations. If you're in the translation business, you probably have realized already the threat. And with O1 Pro, it's just next level. I think it's better than any human translator, and there may be some cultural nuances, but there focus on something else. Most coding and web development, I'm not coding myself. I am into web development, mainly with WordPress. You can still do it, but I think in the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you're out of business. Software as a service, I don't think software as a service will exist in this form as we know it right now in 5 years or 6 years. It's dead. It will be completely in some kind of AI agents collaborating with each other. There's no point in using a software anymore. Banking, if you're in banking, I think it's just disrupted squared. I wrote because you have impact of two technologies that are merging, which is AI and AGI, and then there will be blockchain. And I don't see it really promising. It will be disrupted. There will be jobs in banking for sure, but as you saw Elon Musk do with Twitter and with X, 80-90% of stuff will be gone. Accounting and auditing, I don't think these will exist a job in 5 to 10 years. It's over. Insurance also will completely be disrupted. If you look at the insurance, 80% will be gone. Law, I think law will be disrupted, and I wrote about this on X in a post. I was talking to a friend recently, and he had an issue. He was fundraising, and he had an issue or some legal details in the legal contract, and he was working. If I remember correctly now, he and his co-founder, two lawyers, one no puts and one to on this issue for a couple of days. So if you just calculate, I don't know, 2 lawyers, if you calculate the hours, the notary has to be paid, and the time of the founders and of the investor, it's also valued at something at least. If you just sum it up, I mean, it's thousands of euros which has been put into writing this contract and solving this potential issue. And he said he's a smart guy. He's a machine learning guy. He's building robots. He was building robots at Bosch. I mean, he's a very smart guy, and he's coming out of machine learning, so AI in a broader field, but not out of, let's say, generative AI. And he said, Marius, no, I read some comments you made, or how we started the conversation. He said, no, lawyers will have I mean, I don't see law or lawyers as a job being replaced within the next 10 years. And I said, fine, let's try it out. We opened ChatGPT o1 Pro. We typed in the situation, not with a lot of input, just the situation, a few bullet points. And within 20, 30 minutes, and it was really exciting to do this. And within 20, 30 minutes, I don't know, we came to a similar conclusion as all of these people together. And either ChatGPT o1 Pro made a tiny mistake that is, if you think about o3 has been announced, it will be solved by then. If it was a mistake, a tiny mistake, or, and this is the most exciting point, or o1 Pro found a detail that is wrong, that the lawyers oversaw or didn't really, fully understand. The notary oversaw, which is quite crazy if you think about it. So I think law will be replaced mostly with AI, excluding, and I wrote it here explicitly, excluding high-stake litigation. So if you're in court and so you need a lawyer to be, to negotiate and litigate, etc. These will still have a job. I'm pretty sure about that. Anything that has to do with negotiation. So if you're an M&A or doing these kind of deals, the focus will be on the human part, with negotiating the deal and courtroom advocacy, etc. They will still exist. Lawyers will still exist, but in what makes them human. Anything that lawyers do that right now is understanding laws, interpreting laws, making a strong legal case, writing contracts, etc. It will all be taken over by AI within the next years. I'm 100% sure about that. And also, I mean, if you have tried creating videos, and I mean, even more with photos and with graphics. If you tried on any of these tools, and also music generation, so anything having to do with graphic design, stock photography, stock videos, I mean, it's over. And then, as I said, the market and investment research analysis, I'm very sure it will be taken over 100%. Then I think trading, quantitative, qualitative, it will be taken over mostly for anyone that is looking at it purely from a data perspective. So chart reading, or also looking at the data qualitatively. It will be taken over by AI. What will have, I think, if you're a trader who's trading on intuition, I think you should double down on this. This will be a strong differentiator in the future, because anything having to do with data, with charts, will be disrupted by AI. Any middle layer management, so project, product development, I don't see any function they will have in the future. If you have project and product managers, these will be some kind of AI agents who are guiding, for example, engineers and the CEO through making sure the project is on track and they're developing the right kind of stuff, etc. Accountability, but not humans. I don't think so. Really already seeing the trend with how Elon Musk set the trend with X and with Twitter, and companies are adopting it, right? And governments are adopting that. Medical diagnostics, I think AI is already doing this better than humans. And here again, I think human intuition plays a big role where you can differentiate yourself. So, I mean, if you have developed over your past 10 years, 20 years, an intuition, if you just look at a picture and immediately know what's going on without, you don't really know where this intuitive knowledge is coming from, you should double down on this. But anything, if you're getting into a new job, if you're getting into an industry, medical diagnostics, um, it will be purely 100% AI within a couple of years. And I think also most standardized professional and consulting services, you can already get, I think, C-level consulting advice from O1 Pro. You can use him as an account mentor, as a virtual mentor, so to say. You can use O1 Pro as a virtual advisory board, etc. And it's surprisingly good at that. And you can use it as a consultant for your situation. And it will, anything that is standardized, where you're not really differentiating yourself, where you're not bringing in your intuitive experience and knowledge into a process, it will be commoditized. So if you're in a consulting, it has to be really in the human interaction with your clients and not on the knowledge you're selling. So anything that is knowledge, if you're getting new into it, I would avoid it. If you have experience, if you have intuitive intelligence in a specific field, I think you are pretty safe. But anyone going into the profession of standardized professional consulting services, I think it's not worth it. So long story short, with Humetric, human-centric, this is also always my philosophy. It will one side physical products, sensor innovations, so physical products which you have to manufacture in a facility. It is AI safe, and only the data that's coming out of it will be enhanced by AI. So it is not replaced by AI, but AI will add a lot of value to it, to the sensory data. And on the other side, I want to really double down on the human interaction part. And this will be a key theme in 2025, these both projects, finalizing the prototypes, getting it into the market, and also doubling down on retreats, human retreats, where you actually double down on what I just mentioned a couple of times as your core strengths in the future, which is human intuition. And from intuition comes creativity, intellect, your human genius. And I think about, and I'm envisioning right now, retreats where people come together, multidisciplinary. So it's not super exclusive, where you only have founders who, I don't know, do 100 million in revenue per month or per year. But I want to focus on real human interaction, where it's basically anti-networking. You go there because of human interactions, and because of increasing your human intuitive intelligence. That's basically my what I think will be extremely valuable, and where I want to design a very unique offering and scaling it after the first retreats, scaling it to a significant relevant business in the world. And I think this is a pretty interesting niche right now. It's basically AI detox, and not only AI detox, but then with the human intuitive part, strengthening your human intuitive intelligence, intuition, etc. Yeah, before I finish, maybe I can finish the short essay I wrote, post I wrote. What I think then in the future will be AGI-proof business model will be first principle, operate in the physical work. So it's either as I just said, you have a physical product that has to be manufactured. Robotics will play a part in it, but there has to be a company that is building it and selling it, right? But if your product or service can be fully digitalized, software as a service, I mentioned, if it can be delivered via the cloud, AGI can replicate it, and it will replicate it at zero marginal cost, basically. So If you are, then you should insert some real world constraints, I think. So if it's logistic, location based interaction, physical limitations, direct relationships you're building, their AI, of course, cannot compete. And I think if you are into one of these fields, you should put this into your business model and rethink it. Second principle, create super hyper niche human experiences. So the broader the audience, if you think about content, the easier it is for AI to dominate. So videos, essays, blog posts, SEO content, anything. I mean, AI will dominate, I think, and maybe also influencers will use AI, but they will struggle because they will, if the more they use AI, they will lose their authenticity, their intuition, everything that makes them human. And I think then anything that's super niche human experiences, so I don't know, retreats, I'm thinking about experiences, it will become super interesting. Spiritual elements I mentioned, so anything that defies rationality, anything that defies logic, emotional, spiritual stuff, human connections. I'm very long on these kind of experiences. Also has hospitality, honestly, which always has been a very unattractive industry because it's so tough. But I think hospitality as well will be a very AI and AGI proof industry. Third principle, emphasize adaptive micro scale partnerships. So yeah, decentralize your organization and focus on, if you're local, focus really on your locality, local talents, local suppliers, build networks in your local environment. I think this will also be very strong mode. Fourth principle, embed extreme flexibility. I think this has to be put into the organization itself, so you cannot just build an organization as it has been done in the past. As I said, product managers, etc., they will lose their jobs. So you have to build a new organizational type. And I wrote an essay on it. It's a separate essay. It's called the how is it called? I'm not even 100%. I wrote it more than half a year ago. It's currently published under Skybird Analysis. It's called the Sovereign AI Startup. You have to imagine what AI will be capable of, and then make a new organizational structure where AI is a core part of it, and you have core team that is minimum. Try to keep it as small and lean as possible. So if something happens, you can act extremely agile and fast. I think so. Embed extreme flexibility. It has to be in it. Yeah. I don't want to go through the entire essay, but to make the long story short, where I see a lot of potential in the future and where 2025 will be about for me, it will be sales. It is a human element. It will be building and moving from prototype phase to production phase with Umetric, with new engineering, with my partner, where I'm currently working on 3D phosphates. And the third part will be human experiences, retreats, and connecting and combining all of this together. Very interesting. So yeah, I'm just trying out this YouTube live. Actually, I like where it went. I started this without any intention. I was just trying to figure out if it's first of all streaming at all. I'm streaming from the browser right now with my webcam from my MacBook, and it seems quite good enough. And yeah, I will do this more often. Maybe next time I will share screens, etc. I will have a more schedule, and let's see where it goes. I think it's very interesting. So what are your goals for 2025? Where do you see trends? How do you think about the threat of AGI for you as a person, as a business, as a professional? Are you going to act? Have you tried O1 Pro? I can just recommend. I just invested $200 once. Try what what parts of your job, your profession, your business processes it can already overtake, and figure it out and leave in the comments what you think. I think a very exciting year, and looking forward to do this regularly. Until next time.